Shit. I'm the one calling the shots. I don't get stuck in the box. Feel like I've been through a lot.
As I drive down, or welcome, god damn it, as I drive down the road on this beautiful winter, spring, seasonoid of a climate that we have in the month of, what month is it? The month of March in Pennsylvania. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how I got started doing martial arts. So the first time that I did any type of martial art, well, let's get right to the beginning of the story of how I got started doing martial arts. So I went to this daycare, and I am Puerto Rican, but I am very light. And at the time, I was even lighter, so I looked the same as a white kid, right? So I looked like a white kid. And I went to this daycare where all the kids were black, and there's a couple of other Puerto Ricans, but they weren't white like I was. So my first day there, I was in line, and the kid looked back at me and said, "Hey, what are you doing here, white boy?" And he grabbed me and he picked me up and slammed me head first into the ground. And I remember the pain that I felt when I got slammed head first into the ground, and the helplessness I felt when the staff later put the blame on both of us when I had nothing to do with it, and I had to sit out from the gym class in punishment for getting my ass whooped. And in that moment of crying and disbelief of the fact that I was being punished for getting my ass whooped, I decided that I would get revenge on this kid, and I decided that I would become a warrior, a fighter like Superman. I decided I'd be Superman, basically, because Superman was like my dude back then. And probably about, I don't know, a week later, I went in for the attack. I had prepared earlier in the week watching some sorry, I got cut off. Watching some Justice League, Superman. I had it on VHS, Superman movie. I watched it over and over again. And I was ready. I was ready to go in for the attack. I had been watching Superman VHSs over and over again to learn my techniques. And I was ready to come out like a damn superhero. So I found him in the park. He's on the monkey bars. Doing a little monkey bars, you know, doing his thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not proud of this, but I whooped that dude's ass. I climbed up on the monkey bars, and I stomped on his feet when he was on the monkey bars. Then I jumped off the monkey bars. He was on the ground, he was crying, and I was like, I guess I was like with an adrenaline rush, or like a dark side came over me, but I gave him a couple more punches after he was crying so he could, I don't know, I just, I guess it was an explosion of rage at the time. Due to my age, I wasn't able to control my rage, and I just went off and hit him some more. And that was the first fight I got in, so that was like the first experience I had with that type of adrenaline. And for some reason I really enjoyed that type of adrenaline. And also on another level, martial arts really got my attention because it looks very beautiful. The way they move is like very fast and very neat and very graceful, but at the same time very dangerous. It's like a martial artist with really good technique is almost like a dancer. He has like a way of moving that's with extreme balance and very difficult to be able to do without really having a mastery of the center of gravity of your body. And I always thought that was beautiful, the way that they can move so fast and be so powerful and be so balanced, the way that the body could be used to its maximum potential in martial arts. Was always something that I thought was very attractive as well. So that is aside from fighting, just the beauty and what it can do for the body was also very interesting for me. So I wanted to take classes for karate when I was about 8, and there were some free classes at the daycare I was staying at when I was 8. Well, it was an after-school program, right? It was the Boys and Girls Club, and I talked to my cousin about like how I was trying to take these karate classes, and he was like, "Nah, man, karate's trash, dude. Like, Taekwondo's the best martial art in the world. Taekwondo's the best one out there." And back then we didn't have that type of knowledge like we do now about the UFC and MMA and all that. We didn't know what the best martial art was. So that was something that I actually believed, so almost like a religious thing, like this is the #1 martial art and this beats every other one. So I went in and I took some classes, but I don't really remember much about those classes because I was so young. The only thing I really remember about those classes was that there was a lot of stretching involved. I remember stretching my leg on the wall, and there was white tape that would go up in levels, get higher and higher, and as you went to the class longer, the teacher would make you go up a higher level. And I remember it would really hurt to stretch up that higher level, and it was very painful. And that was about the only thing I really remember about taking that first martial art class, to be honest. I kind of remember what the coach's personality was like a little bit, you know, some of the students that were there, but I don't really remember the classes for some reason since I was so young. Just that stretching, I guess, because it was so painful. But that was my first experience, and that only lasted, I'm guessing, for about like 6 months